everyone, you ready for round 3? Now that you've learned all of the primary categories of spirits, we're going to dive into some really fascinating ones. So this is things like vermouths and bitters, and then we'll go over to the sweet stuff. And we'll talk about some really interesting liqueurs and cordials. So stick with me, this is where it starts to get really fun. The first category to discuss is bitters. Some of these are sweeter than others, but the history is really interesting. Bitters were first created as medicine. By taking herbs that relieve stomach aches, fevers, and the like, then infusing them with tasty citrus and spices and sugar, they go down better. Over time, they became popular as after-dinner drinks or digestifs because they literally help you digest your food. Gentian is the name of one of the primary herbs that's used in bitters because of how it resolves tummy aches. It's also really bitter. Now, these two spirits look really similar, but they taste quite different. Go ahead and smell them both. Both Aperol and Campari are Italian and are considered aperitifs rather than digestifs. An aperitif is enjoyed before dinner because it's lighter, whereas a digestif is better after dinner because it's heavier. Aperol has a slight bitterness to it, but it's much more sweet than bitter. It's flavored with oranges primarily, but it also has flavors of rhubarb, floral aromas, and that little bit of that herbal bitterness from the gentian. Aperol is famously enjoyed all over Italy in a drink called the Aperol Spritz, which is made with Aperol, Prosecco, and soda. Now, Campari is more bitter than Aperol. It has flavors that are more like orange peel and grapefruit peel, bitter cherry, and spices. It's classically served either with soda or my personal favorite cocktail, the Negroni. This classic cocktail was created in 1919 in Florence, Italy. A popular drink at the time was the Americano cocktail, which was made with Campari, sweet vermouth, and club soda. This gentleman, Count Camillo Negroni, was a huge fan of the drink, but he thought it should be stronger. He asked the bartender to swap out club soda for gin. Soon everyone was coming into this bar and ordering a Count Negroni. The Negroni has become one of the great classic cocktails and has become exceedingly popular all over the world. It's a strong drink though, and it has a bitter kick, so it's an acquired taste for some. Angostura is a very old famous bitter from Trinidad. The recipe has not changed since 1824, and it was first used as a health tonic, but the intense flavor of spices became very popular in other uses. While it might have the worst packaging on the planet, it's very recognizable. I suggest that you not only smell this, but taste it. It's intense for sure. See? This is why we only use a dash of it in drinks. The complexity of flavors it brings to cocktails is undeniable. Amaro is the Italian word for bitter, and Fernet is a category of Amaro that's very bitter. Fernet Branca is one of the most popular Amari, and it's very distinctive. It's made from 27 different herbs. Some of these are very much for health, like gentian and cinchona, while other ones are used for flavor, like mint and bitter orange and saffron. And I'll tell you, nothing will fix a tummy ache faster. Now, go ahead and smell the Fernet, and notice that it smells extremely earthy and herbal. Vermouth isn't technically a bitter, but there are some similarities. Vermouth is actually wine-based. Herbs, a little alcohol, and sometimes sugar are added to this wine to create vermouth. In many countries, vermouth is enjoyed on its own, not just in cocktails. Dry vermouth is pale and aromatic, while sweet vermouth is darker and richer and has the addition of sugar. Now smell this one, but again, I would also suggest that you take a quick taste of it. If you're serving cocktails, you should know what the ingredients taste like. See? It just tastes like sweet wine with a little bit of herbs. So, what's the difference between liquor and liqueur? Well, first we take liquor, or the base distillate, and to that we add sugars, spices, herbs, fruits, nuts, or any other kinds of flavorings, and the result is liqueur. Liqueurs are nearly always sweet and are often very unique to specific regions. Some regions are famous for very distinctive spirits. Scotch from Scotland, Cognac from Cognac region of France, for example. But those aren't necessarily the only thing made in those areas. Liqueurs are made from those famous spirits too. Drambuie is one. It comes from the Isle of Skye in Scotland and is made from scotch and honey. Another very famous one is Grand Marnier from the Cognac region of France. Smell it! Grand Marnier is made with cognac and oranges. You can see that it has a very distinctive aroma. Historically, monasteries have played a very important role in the developing of some of the most popular liquors that we know today. Benedictine, Chartreuse, and of course, Frangelico are some of these.
Frangelico comes from Italy, and look at the bottle. It looks like a monk. And this stuff is magical. Go ahead and smell it. It's made with hazelnuts and berries and vanilla and cocoa. Delish.
Elderflower also plays an interesting role in the history of liqueurs. The elderflower and its parent plant, elderberry, have both been used in Europe for centuries for flavors and perfumes. Elderflower has skyrocketed as a very trendy flavor in the last decade, thanks in part to this French liqueur, Saint Germain. Saint Germain elderflower liqueur is sometimes called the bartender's crutch. Almost any cocktail you add this to tastes delicious. A little goes a long way, however, its perfume overwhelms quickly. And finally, we have Chambord, which is made from blackberries and raspberries in the Loire Valley of France. Tons of fresh fruit are macerated in alcohol for 4 weeks before being pressed. The sweet juice is then blended with cognac, Madagascar vanilla, and fragrant herbs. The intensity of the aromas is undeniable. This liqueur captures the fresh flavors of fresh berries on a summer day. Both Chambord and Saint Germain are really great when added as a splash to sparkling wine.
Every spirit that we have behind the bar at Cooper's Hawk has its place either on its own or in great cocktails. And understanding what each of these spirits tastes like is the first step to making really great drinks. So enjoy sharing these stories with your guests and dig deeper into the ones that you find more interesting. Cheers.